Greetings to all Southern Cameroonians. This is King Echo. There is a hot topic that is going on the social media about the lockdown dates. The interim government of Dr. Sako wants that the lockdown date should be on the 6th of February to the 11th of February, while the interim government of Cisco Ayutabe Julius wants that the lockdown date should be from the 7th to the 11th. But to me, it really doesn't matter what date it is because they're all around the same date period. 6, 7 doesn't matter. But the fact is this: Southern Cameroonians have a lockdown that is going on in February. But the most important thing is not necessarily about the lockdown. It's what you do on the lockdown date. What is important is what Southern Cameroonians will have to do on the lockdown date to reinforce the lockdown and to make sure that the lockdown is successful, and the Republic of Cameroon would not be successful in doing what they want to achieve, which is holding an election in a state where people have been killed, a lot of people have been displaced, and yet they still want to hold elections. Who are going to elect? Who are going to vote on those days? A lot of people in Southern Cameroon are not there. They are gone. They've been internally displaced. Yet they want to do that. But that's not really the most significant thing. The most significant thing is how we're going to reinforce this lockdown. To do that, we need a strong military. The interim government of Dr. Sako doesn't have a strong military to control the lockdown dates in the whole of Southern Cameroon. Neither do the interim government of Cisco Ayutabe Julius with AGOF and Dr. Ayabacho. They don't also have a strong military to control the 14 counties that we have in Southern Cameroon. But these people don't want to work together. They have a common goal. The common goal is to get rid of La Republic and the military inside Southern Cameroon. Both interim governments, from Cisco Ayutabe Julius to Dr. Samuel Sako, have a common goal, which is to liberate Southern Cameroon from the forces of the Republic of Cameroon. Yet they still cannot find a way to compromise and work together as a team. For them, team means that this is the one that is leading. This is the one that is in charge. But both of you guys are not in charge of what is happening on the ground of Southern Cameroon, because La Republique du Cameroon is still there, making sure that they remain the one in charge. The key to winning a revolution is diplomacy and strong military. Those two go in hand. Just like we have to send our diplomats in other countries to speak about our revolution, our cause that is happening in Southern Cameroon, we also have to make sure that we have a strong military. We have to support our military on the ground with what they need. The AK-47, all the best weapons that they can have. But these two IG groups, interim government groups, are fighting among themselves while fighting La Republic. And that has caused the spirit of the revolution to really slow down. But look at what Maurice is doing. Chris Arnold was crying on live video that, you guys should call Congress Karen Bass. Call. Meanwhile, you don't necessarily have to call. All you gotta do is make your time, your date, and go to see the Congress members in Washington D.C. and lay down your complaints, lay down your issues. Just like Maurice Compton, who left from Cameroon and has seen many of the U.S. diplomats and lawmakers within 48 hours. That just show you that Chris Arnold doesn't know what he's also doing. He's making a lot of noise when it comes to that. But how can somebody who is all the way in Cameroon leave Cameroon and come to the United States and see the Congress members of the United States, and then we have people who are here in the United States making noise, but you should call and disturb their lines? That's useless. It's useless, because some of these are so-called leaders are not really doing the work that needs to be done. Yet they want to be the one that have the pride to be listened to or to be listened upon when they say shit. Southern Cameroonians, our revolution is in our hands. And we cannot sit by and just allow certain groups and certain leaders do what they want to do, thinking that they have all the rights and privileges to do so. The interim government of Dr. Sako is incompetent. That's how I see it. They don't know what they're doing. They are incompetent. They lack the knowledge and the power to do what is necessary to free Southern Cameroon. Because if they did, Chris Arnold, Dr. Samuel Sako would have been in Washington, D.C., meeting all the Congress members and laying down the issues of Southern Cameroon to them directly, just like Professor Maurice Compton did. We need to change our strategy if we want to win this revolution. It's not just about listening to a certain group who think they are the people's they are for the people's revolution. Meanwhile, they're not doing the work. But then again, we also need to question somebody like Dr. Ayabacho and even the VP. He's an excellent leader, very excellent leader. He has the capability to actually transform Southern Cameroon and make sure that Southern Cameroon is free from the chokehold of slavery from La Republic du Cameroon. I believe he can do that. But the two IG groups must work together, or nothing will be accomplished. Southern Cameroon, you might call yourself, these groups might call themselves the interim government of Southern Cameroon, but as for me, Southern Cameroon does not have a government. Southern Cameroon has groups, organizations that are fighting for the revolution or fighting for the freedom of Southern Cameroon, but they don't have a government, because if they do have a government, then that government should be on the ground, on ground zero. That government, the president of Southern Cameroon, should be on the ground and working for the people of Southern Cameroon. But we don't have an interim government. We don't. If the interim government is not in Southern Cameroon, is out of Southern Cameroon, then that's just an organization that is fighting to seek independence, to seek freedom, to seek liberty from the Republic of Cameroon. If we don't achieve that liberty, or that group will just die out. If Southern Cameroon is not liberated, it's not free through this organization, those organizations that we have will mean nothing, especially if the Republic of Cameroon win this revolution. I hope some people are getting what I'm trying to say. These organizations, Southern Cameroon, within Southern Cameroon, that are fighting for the revolution, are just groups. They're not a government. They're just groups. So Dr. Sako might think that he's the president of Southern Cameroon, and even Cisco Ayotabo Julius may think that he's the president of Southern Cameroon. They are leaders of Southern Cameroon. But so long as we don't have the government controlling the nation known as Southern Cameroon, so long as we don't win this revolution, those organizations cannot transform and become a government on ground zero. That's the only way. We must first win this revolution. And in order for us to win this revolution, we must work as a team. We must collaborate. If we don't collaborate, if we continue the in-house fighting about what date is important, oh, it should be the 6th to the 11th, or it should be the 7th to the 12th, and people are insulting each other left and right just because of dates, when Southern Cameroon doesn't even have a strong military to defend their own people who have been slaughtered by La Republic of Cameroon. Houses in Southern Cameroon have been burned. People, children, kids have been burned. And we have a bunch of group of leaders who don't say nothing to their surrogates, who are instigating in-house fighting while our people are being burned and killed. Do you see the stupidity of what we're doing on social media? We're fighting among ourselves while La Republic of Cameroon is killing our own people. It's just stupid. It's ridiculous. Dr. Sako is here in the United States. If he claims to be the leader of the people of Southern Cameroon, he should march to DC, just like Maurice Campton did when he left all the way from Cameroon to come to Washington DC, and he has met many of the Congress diplomats, US diplomats and lawmakers within 48 hours. But you have a person who claimed to be the president of Southern Cameroon, and he is in Washington DC, where the connections are, or he's in the United States, where the connections are, where he can make the connections and lay down our issues within the lawmakers of the United States. Yet he hasn't done that. He hasn't done that. And he claims to be the president. President of what nation? Southern Cameroon is not free. We are fighting to regain our freedom. And if we don't succeed in regaining our freedom, all those organizations that we have, NCNC, NCNC, AGOF, ADF, all those organizations will mean nothing if we don't have complete independence, complete freedom of Southern Cameroon. They will just die out and mean nothing. So we may continue fighting among ourselves to say, oh, this group is that, this group is that. It's just rubbish if we don't win the revolution. It's stupidity. If our own so-called leaders, these old quacks, cannot iron out the issue within the leadership of Southern Cameroon, then why do you claim to be leaders? This is King Echo. I'm out till next time.